Welcome to the Passionate Pundits, your opportunity to increase your knowledge of natural health and healing, a viable alternative to modern Western medicine. With your host, holistic chiropractor Dr. Juliadeer and nutritional consultant Deb St.Hilaire.
Hey, Julia.
Hi, honey. It's so good to be here with you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super happy once again to be able to share our vast knowledge of natural healing and natural health to people.
That we're so passionate about.
Super passionate.
That's our name.
That's right.
And we had a winner to the Passionate Pundits. Did she get her present?
Not yet, but I will get it to her. Miss Rebecca Horetsky in Pigeon.
We'll have to have her call in once she gets it and tell
yes.
us how much she likes it.
Yay. I'll let her know.
So it was your birthday. Did you have a really good birthday?
Honestly, I totally forgot it was my birthday already.
Get out.
I try to put that behind me as quickly as possible. But no, I did. I had a lovely birthday. Thank you.
I have a birthday present for you.
You do. Look at you. She just handed me a book called Devolution, The Evolution and Revolution of the Diva by Deborah St.Hilaire.
Ta-da.
My co-host. I'm so excited. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I can't wait
I hope
to
you
read.
enjoy it.
I'm going to.
It's a quick read, so.
I love that.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of time, so when
so
I
it'll
read,
be good. And you
I
can
want to
put
be
it
able
down
to,
and pick it up. And
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Love that.
So, what do we have today?
Well, I have a few choices. I was really torn this week. I mean, I've had a lot of things coming into the office, and my husband, Patrick, and I were kind of trying to figure it out. And he said, well, you could talk about this or you could talk about that. And none of it really resonated with me. That was not going to be my topic today. And so today I was looking and I actually decided my topic today is going to be about organ referral pain. For one.
Good. Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. And then the other thing I want to talk about is poop.
Oh, good.
That resonates with me today.
And everybody poops.
Everyone poops. That's right. So we're definitely going to talk about that.
All right.
And so anybody with weak stomachs.
It'll be a shitty conversation.
Stop talking crap, Deb. You and your potty mouth.
Oh, boy.
I love it. All right, but let's start with organs. I've talked a lot about different organ systems when I've been on in the past episodes. We've talked about different organs and what they're for and what they do for us and how we can make them better. But really, people don't understand that sometimes the pain that they're feeling is coming from those organs. And, a lot of times people will come in and they're like, just crack me and fix me right here. Well, it's not really that simple because maybe it is and maybe it isn't. So I don't just automatically assume that it is that it is muscle, bone, and nerve. I actually need to delve into that and find out if it's the organs having a referral pain to whatever area they're having problems with. So, for example, had a fella come in this morning. He was talking about his left shoulder bothering him. And I was like, oh, well, that might be, your shoulder, your rotator cuff, whatever. Everybody knows that term. Of course, they don't know how to say it right. I get a lot of people. That's kind of a mean thing, but I never correct people.
Rotary cuff. Rotary cuff.
Cup. I hear cup a
lot.
Well, what it is, it's called the rotator cuff. And the rotator cuff is made up of many different muscles in the shoulder girdle. And that is what the rotator cuff is. It's all the muscles that hold your shoulder together. So sometimes it's muscle, bone, or nerve. And in that case, that's when we could either have a pinched nerve or a bone out of place or the muscle is pulled or strained or possibly torn or anything like that.
Oh, and that's bad. Pinched nerves are bad.
It is. I mean, it can be rectified, but it does take a little bit. But yeah, that causes some bad pain. Or it could actually be the pancreas.
Get out.
No, I'm not kidding you. The pancreas, which sits down in the abdomen, actually can refer pain to the left shoulder or left side of the neck. So it could be a layering effect too. It might be somewhat muscular, but it might be the underlying cause is the pancreas and pancreas dysfunction.
Because if it does hurt up there, a lot of people will start stiffening because of pain and not using it. That'll make it worse, won't it?
Right, that guarding mechanism.
So how does that, did you find this out as one of the nights you were sleeping when you poked yourself and felt it in your shoulder?
No, actually, this has a lot to do with my sacro-occipital technique that I utilize in the office every day.
And remind us what that is again.
The sacro-occipital technique is a lesser-known technique of chiropractic that has to do with deep underlying issues like ligament laxity, instability. It also has a subdivision called chiropractic manipulative reflex technique. And that, when it originally was documented back in the 50s, was known as bloodless surgery. And that is a way to use reflex points to regulate the nervous system to those organs. So a lot of it is based on sort of some of the Chinese meridians, the acupuncture meridians. Some of it is based on muscle attachments, scar tissue, where the muscles go into the bone, those insertion points. Those things have to do with these different points that Captain Desjardins, who was a great chiropractor in the 50s, he didn't discover it, but he took the work and he turned it into his own and made it part of the sacro-occipital technique.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So I use that every day in my office. Everybody that comes in gets their organ systems checked. And that's important to me because I don't want to just adjust your bones and send you on your way if it's a pancreas referral pain. If there's a pancreas problem, we need to know about it and we need to regulate it, get it back on track so that it can work optimally.
And what exactly is the function of the pancreas?
Well, the pancreas has two functions. Well, it has a couple of them, maybe even 3 or 4. But there's 2 parts to the pancreas, the head and the tail. And the head of the pancreas deals with digestion and making digestive enzymes. And for those of you who don't know the significance of enzymes are what helps us break down different foods. So carbs have to be broken down by certain enzymes. Proteins have to be broken down by other enzymes. Fats have to be broken down by other enzymes and bile. So that's where the gallbladder comes in. The gallbladder and the pancreas are teams. They're a team. They work together to help us digest our food properly. So when one is not acting as well as it should, the other one has to pick up the slack and vice versa. And here's another good point. When people take their gallbladders out nowadays, used to be if you get your gallbladder out, they would give you a restricted diet.
Right, yeah.
And they would say, you're not going to do so good with these kinds of foods.
Like fried, anything greasy. I remember when my mother had hers out.
Exactly. They give you a whole list of stuff to be careful of. Nowadays, they just take that sucker out and they call it good. And they're like, hey, eat what you want. And that's not really appropriate, if you ask me, because it does put people in jeopardy for further dysfunction. And so it causes a burden on the pancreas, a burden on the liver. If you don't have your gallbladder, which is the storer and distributor of the bile that breaks fats down, the liver makes the bile and it's stored in the gallbladder. So if you don't have the gallbladder, then the liver has to take on that role as well. And then it can get backed up. It can become agitated, aggravated, dysfunctional, whatever, as well as the pancreas. If the pancreas is doing all the work trying to pump out these extra enzymes to compensate for the lack of the bile or the lack of the gallbladder, then you're going to start having issues eventually down the road. So whenever anybody tells you, yeah, we can take that body part out, that's not going to hurt you at all. I mean, think about it. God put it there for a reason. Right. Spirit, whoever, universe, whoever you want to say, greater power, They had something in mind when they added that little gallbladder in there. And I don't think that they were just being silly.
No.
I think there's a reason.
It's not just taking up space.
Right, exactly. Appendix, spleen, all of those organs are necessary organs. Tonsils. Do you know how many people tell me they've had their tonsils out? I mean, I get it. There is a time and a place, and we've talked about that before. I mean, if they're going to make you choke and if they swell up, I've seen some huge tonsils on people. And yeah, I get it. It's difficult. But your tonsils are part of your immunity. They're part of that. They're taking care of some bacteria in the back of your throat. You know, you're going to have some compromised immunity if you take those tonsils out. So I'm not a big proponent for taking body parts out. And the other thing is with a gallbladder, if they tell you, oh, if it's less than 30% functioning, we got to get it out. And then I just want to shake them and say, well, then how good's it going to function?
Right.
You know?
Better partially functioning. Can we get the gallbladder functioning back correctly?
Absolutely, we can.
I'll be darned.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the best things for gallbladder and pancreas for overall digestion is celery. Celery is wonderful for digestion and for gallbladder and pancreas. And it's so simple, easy peasy. You know, and it's funny because you look at celery and you think, well, there's not much to it. You know, there's just a little water and no calories. And what is that stuff? I don't know why I need that. It's awesome. And it's so good for you.
So does it clean it?
You know, I really don't know the mechanism.
That's interesting.
I can't tell you the mechanism.
I
just know
there's a lot
of
fiber in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it might be cleansing. I don't know.
Interesting.
So one time my gallbladder was functioning at about 35%.
And how did you know that?
Muscle testing. I muscle test myself, of course. And I was having dysfunction. I mean, I was having gallbladder attacks, pain right up under my rib cage and around to the back of my shoulder blade on the right. And I was having all of these issues. And every time I'd try to eat, I'd get sick. And I was like, this is gallbladder. And so I muscle tested. I was only at about 35% functioning. So I started eating celery, and within a week, I was up to 80% functioning. That's it. That's all. That's all she wrote.
Here's your prescription. Celery.
Yeah, let's not take it out.
Wow.
Let's eat some celery and see if that helps. So I would definitely recommend that to everybody, that you should have celery 3-4 times a week to help with your digestion.
So can I ask you a question? So if you're overtaxing your gallbladder, what foods would cause it to overtax?
Okay. Gallbladder does not like, in general, caffeine, sugar, and animal fats. Those are the three majors. So when I go through them with people, I say coffee, chocolate, alcohol, soda pop, greasy food, dairy, and sugar. But basically the three components of those things that bother it are caffeine, animal fats, and sugars.
And people that have gallbladder problems usually know when they're having a gallbladder attack, right?
Oh, yes, you do.
So,
yes,
bingo, stop eating those things, start eating celery, and you'll be okay, hopefully.
Right. And you can do cleanses. People don't realize, but you really should cleanse your liver and gallbladder every 6 months as an adult. And cleanses could be juicing and doing like a juice fast for a day and a half. It could also mean using herbs. Milk thistle is a super good cleanser for the liver. Wheatgrass is a great cleanser for the liver.
It's so good too.
Oh, yes. It's so good. And it makes you smell good. Just saying.
Oh.
Yeah. Wheatgrass is really good. It cleanses you from the inside out. So if you have bad breath problems, or if you have body odor problems, or if you have like vaginal discharge problems, or if your periods
if you stink.
Yeah, if your periods have a smell and you use wheatgrass, you are going to see a difference.
Isn't that interesting?
It cleans you. It's great. Wheatgrass is one of the best things ever out there. Simple and super good for you in so many ways. There's like 200 benefits to having wheatgrass.
Wow.
It claims, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm going to put it out there as a claims that you could live on just wheatgrass alone for many, many months because it has so many food amino acids and vitamins and
So
minerals.
it's kind of a
and
superfood. I wonder if it's listed in the superfoods?
I don't know. I
That
really
would be
haven't checked
interesting
that
to look.
list.
You know, there's powdered wheatgrass that I put in my smoothie, a scoop in my smoothie, and well, I always smell delicious, don't I?
You know, when I have smelled you, I have not